I absolutely believe that people are abusing the word divorce. If you're not wealthy, rich, and endowed in terms of affluence, yours is not a divorce, yours is a split up. Because tell me why you've decided to enter into this lifelong relationship. You've wasted 15 plus years. You've signed almost up to, let's say, 3 kids, or even to make it worse, 5. And now, after all those 15 plus years, you feel like this is not your soulmate anymore. But, anyways, I like to believe that there's people who couple up or enter into marriage for reasons that they themselves, if they were sane, like if you had to do some sort of self-introspection, have a meeting, hold several meetings in private, rooms alone with yourself, without anybody telling you, and just get to listen to your heart and listen to your thoughts and compare notes between both parties. I know you wouldn't make that decision of stepping into that marriage. But also, I like to talk about, PKs, those who step into marriages because they're a son or a daughter of a preacher, a respectable lawyer, or their parents are respectable people in society, so they hold a certain position, and that has curated a certain image in people and perception. So they're always expected to do things in the right way, even if it's against their will. For example, now specifically stepping into marriage, you know very well you don't like this person. Also, there's people who marriage is not their thing. There's people who stepping into marriage is the greatest downfall of their whole entire existence. It's like a cancer that will never cure. Because let me ask you, you're forced into that institution, right? You settle this woman or this man, you had those 4 5 kids, and then you are never happy. You're always sad, always arguing, always throwing tantrums. Or if it's the man, he's always ghosting. He comes home in the evening, he's not saying anything. He doesn't say a single word. He's not responding. If it's the wife, the moment you step into the house, she's always showing all those grinning faces. She has this angry look on her face. You sleep on the same bed, but the man faces the wall, their wife faces on this other side. You're dividing sheets and covers. You're not even touching each other. Then why did you make that, decision? So I feel like when it comes to separation, or just let's say these split ups are more so specifically happening to people who had intentionally signed up to, co-signed to be in marriage, it should be intense and consciously made in a way that if at some point we feel like we can't stay together, let it be that we can separate just for a season, so that we sort out all these wounds and all this damage and all this pain, and then we can come back together after some time when we've healed. But also remember, the people who are going to suffer is not the both of you. These are the products of your intercourse, and these are your kids. So also when you compare the rest of divorce, because early on today in the morning I was reading an article that was talking about the reason why a lot of people are divorcing is because they're unhappy, they're not fulfilled, and especially those that came into that institution maybe because they wanted sex, for material gain, sadness, loneliness, and also societal pressure. Family pressure pushed you into it. Others maybe, like there's one word pointed out, maybe somebody was thought to be gay, and so they had to prove that they are straight, and so they had to plunge into marriage so that they curate a satisfactory image for the family and for the people. You messed up yourself and you did yourself dirty. And also I tend to feel like, happiness can never really be long lasting, because I pursue joy, because joy is internal, and external forces cannot necessarily contribute to joy, even though when you're joyous, you are likely to be happier. So I don't think happiness should be the sole purpose of getting into marriage. Let's just say contentment and joy, because those are the core ingredients of any kind of longevity at whatever you're doing. So when you look at the divorce, because in America divorce has been commercialized, divorce court is the biggest, most lucrative business in the United States, and now it's spilling over to Africa. But then Africa, it's only divorce if both of you are rich and wealthy, and also if you did a wedding anyways. If you can afford to do a wedding, then you can definitely divorce in the court of law. Because if it's the pastor, the church, and the congregation that witnessed your union, definitely there's an authority that has to be there when you guys are separating. So it's becoming chaotic. It's extremely chaotic. And also in America, divorce is the most commercialized business ever. Like divorce lawyers and attorneys, they are minting big and smiling, laughing all the way to the bank because they know most of these young women are looking for partners that are already established, as compared to right here in Africa, where you're settling in marriage because you want to have kids, you want to extend your generation, you want to fulfill a rite of passage. It's also spiritual. It's not a business. But in the United States, divorce court is a business. And that's why this culture is literally spilling over to Africa. And it's the most toxic and disastrous culture ever, especially when it comes to the family unit. But always the people who suffer are the kids.